Thank you, Akashi-san, for sharing the screen. So today's monthly seminar starts 15 minutes earlier than the regular one, but today we have pretty packed agenda items. So, and then as we announced before, we will have the EBA Fieldwork presentation. We begin with Minamata Fieldwork participant, and then following that, the UM Fieldwork participant will present it. Afterwards, we will have the 10 minutes of the faculty meeting. So here's today's timetable. So let me first explain about the order of presentation. We will start from the EBA Minamata Fieldwork participants presentation. After the brief introduction of the fieldwork, it's a descending order of the group. So starting from group 4 to 1. So each presentation will takes about 5 or 6 minutes, including Q&A. And then after the EBA Minamata Fieldwork participants presentation, the UM Fieldwork participant will present in this order. So for the other members, the posters data you can access through, on the SoyAsia EBA presentation, EBA website from here. So you can refer to the poster later on if you have interested in more in detail. So let's start from the Minamata Fieldwork explanation. So on behalf of Kei Sensei, who led this Minamata Fieldwork, we had a Minamata Fieldwork end of July. So prior to that, we have online session in June, and then field trip period is from the July 28th to the August 5th. So as for the theme of this fieldwork, each group pick up the one question from the following two themes. So first one is in digital era, how can we revitalize Minamata City? Provide proposal considering the current situation in the Minamata City. The second one is, how could the Minamata disease incident have been avoided if modern technology had been available? What should we do now to apply the lessons learned? So for group tackle either one of these themes. So without further ado, so I'd like to pass the microphone to the group 4. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah, please start. Thank you.
So, Joe, to help me to share the slides.
Okay, I'll share now. Just a moment, please. Okay, can you see my
Yeah, we can see
screen?
the slides. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Greetings to everyone who joins this presentation. We are group 4 all the way from Japan, Indonesia, and Malaysia. So in this presentation, we want to focus on the question number 2, which is how could Minamata disease incident can be avoided if modern technology had been available, and what should we do now to apply the lessons learned? So we want to propose 2 ideas called Smart Minamata and Minamata Doc to prevent something like Minamata disease from happening again. During our visit to Minamata City, we identified 3 significant challenges currently facing the community: the technological limitations, shortage of doctors, and information barriers. What I mean is not that Minamata City is rural, but rather that it holds the potential to become one of the most sustainable and livable cities. So some of the technologies can be implemented in Minamata City, and here is our solutions. So first of all, digital card of the city. We use AIoT sensors, and it is strategically placed throughout the city to monitor every physical asset in real time. These sensors continuously collect the real-time data and feed it to the digital twin. Imagine a digital twin that knows every inch of the city, from the water quality to traffic patterns and even the air pollution level of the city. I believe it will become a better manager than humans do. With AIoT sensors, we can predict and respond to any disasters such as earthquakes or any disease outbreak more efficiently. Besides that, we can also predict the future of Minamata City. We allow the users to place their project in a virtual neighborhood or a city and see how the project will impact the areas before we actually implement it in real life. For example, a company called TSMC is now under the construction in Kikuyo Town, the Kumamoto prefecture. The local communities are actually worried about the pollution that they might cause by this project. And in order to solve this issue, we can create a digital twin of the proposed facility and place it in a virtual neighborhood, accurately mirroring the local geography, infrastructure, and environment. It will monitor the air and water quality and ensuring the emissions and waste management meet strict environmental standards. Next. During our presentation in Minamata City, my friend Sushant asked me a question about the cost effectiveness of this technology. To be honest, I didn't really know the answer, so I did some research on it. So our target customer is the government of Minamata City. By implementing digital twin, we target a 25% reduction in maintenance costs and 20% in operation costs of Minamata City. To maximize the cost effectiveness, we propose to start with the critical areas like the industrial areas and expand it based on the performance and ROI. And for the next solutions, I would like to invite my friends Theo to continue with the presentation.
Okay, so the next one is Minamata Doc. Minamata Doc is a telehealth service connecting patients with doctors via telecommunication. So imagine having immediate access to medical consultation regardless of the distance. Minamata Doc brings doctors closer to you, reducing the travel time and expenses. Besides that, we also provide the patients with a platform to discuss and communicate within each other, and also lessen the anxiety and the loneliness they might feel. For this, our target users are those who need medical assistance suffering from rare diseases so that they can communicate with not only doctors, but also other patients in the community. Our goal is to integrate our Minamata Doc into university curricula, offering medical students internship and academics credit. This also can reduce the consultation fee or even make it free of charge. I think that's all for Minamata Doc. And for the closing, I'll hand it to my friend Joe.
Okay, everyone, that's all from group 4. And I hope you guys get the good insights from this proposal. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for our presentation. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for Team 4. So, if anyone has any questions about Team 4's presentation?
I have a small question about the first idea. Is that something like a digital twin for a city?
Yeah, a digital twin that we're planning to do like a smart city for Minamata City.
Okay, digital twin of a whole city. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the question. So, okay, let us move on to the next team. So thank you very much for Team 4. Okay, Team 3, are you ready to present?
Hello, hi. Yes, let me share my screen first. Is the screen visible?
Yes.
Yes. Hello. Good afternoon to everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank you, the School of Internet Asia, EBA team, the Kyoto University, all the representatives of our universities, and everyone who made the EBA Fieldwork, EBA Minamata 2023 a huge success. I would like to thank you all. Moving on, The EBA was divided into two parts. First one's EBA pre-workshop from July 28 to July 31, 2023. And the second was fieldwork in Minamata, which was from August 1st to August 4th. We had members from 5 different countries. And these are our team members, myself, Sudeep Tiwari, Muhammad Aryandi, and Hana. Moving on, I'd like to switch to our poster. Is the poster visible?
Yes, it's
Hello?
visible now.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So our poster was targeted to answer the first question, that is, in the digital era, how we can revitalize Minamata, and we proposed 3 solutions based on tourism, environment, and daily lives. The context of tourism is that Minamata has a beautiful wealth of sea beauty, natural beauty, which we also learned from Mr. Morisita. He introduced us to beautiful creatures in the sea. But people have negative perception of the Minamata city due to the history of Minamata disease, and there is also a language barrier which can cause tourists to question themselves twice before visiting Minamata. Our proposed solution for tourism is the government should incentivize visit Minamata years. There should be competitions like social media hashtags, photography, videography competitions, and there should also be festivals like the fireworks festival in the Tokyo that can attract tourists. And the language translation, any means of language translation, be it machine or human oriented, it would be a great help for tourists as well. Our proposal includes a request to the government that it should study and make a visit Minamata year at some year, so that it could be exclusively promoted. And this should also be incentivized social media price promotion. This should be annual festivals that can attract a huge number of internal as well as external tourists. And this should also be language translator devices. For the next part, I'd like to invite Hannah.
Hi, I like invite environment part. And environment part is context. It's 23 different ways to regulation, impact of global warming on sea, and deforestation. And we think the solution for promote waste segregation methods and promote recycling and refresh method and enchanted marine ecology. And proposal is attract learns, then offer paid courses, sea urchin vacuum cleaner, sea temperature sensors, and forest monitoring using drones. And next one is Ariane, please.
Okay, I will continue, Hannah and Sudhir, based on their perspective for our discussion. So I will bring for another context based on our discussion is the daily life. The first is there is only one high school. This means that higher education options are very limited for students there. Oops. Okay, maybe I will continue. And second is many young people leave Minamata to work in a larger city because they can earn higher salary there. Next is brain drain. It means that when highly educated individuals leave their hometown in search of job and opportunities elsewhere. And the last is young people are not actively involved in the process of change or development in Minamata, which can hinder the region's process. And the solution that we propose in daily life is the first is we need to expand the educational opportunity by connecting the existing high school in Minamata with other university. This helps students have more higher education choice that will be helpful for students to keep in Minamata and develop their city. And job creation through tourism and industry like GNC. And the next is the modernization of agriculture. And our proposal for this part is our first partnership with KO University and scholarship. And next is a mandatory volunteering in Minamata for scholarship recipients. And the last is the agriculture drone subsidy. It means that provide finance assistance to farmers to purchase agricultural drones so they can enhance farming productivity. Yeah, I think that's all for our team member. Thank you.
Thank you very much for team 3. So any question or comment? We can take one question or comments. Anybody? Okay. If not, I mean, if anybody have any comments, and then feel free to put it on the chat box later on. So let's move on to the team 2. So thank you very much, team 3. Okay, team 2, are you ready?
Hi, yeah, I'll share my screen.
Yes, please start.
Can you see my screen? It shows the poster right now.
Yes, I can see that.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay, so good day, everyone. So we are Group 2. I'm Elaine Tan. I'm joined by Wataru and Ideal. Wataru's from Japan and Ideal's from Indonesia, and I'm from the Philippines. And we'll be presenting our poster from the EBA Minamata Fieldwork. So our aim in this fieldwork is to answer the question, how could the Minamata disease incident have been avoided if modern technology had been available? So to answer that question, we used the EBA method when we visited several key places to understand the intricacies of the Minamata disease incident before we could provide our solutions. So at the Minamata Disease Municipal Museum, we learned about the roles of CHISO, the government, and the community in relation to the victims of the Minamata disease. At GNC, we observed how CHISO improved following the incident. And lastly, at the National Institute for Minamata Disease, we observed the ongoing research related to mercury poisoning even after the Minamata disease outbreak. So from all the evidence we have collected, we identified 5 key events that caused and even exacerbated the impact of the Minamata disease on the victims. So for each one, we will briefly present potential technological solutions that could have been implemented. So first, we'll begin at the root cause of the Minamata disease, which occurred when CHISO began releasing contaminated wastewater into Minamata Bay without repercussions. At this stage, we can use IoT with blockchain to hold industries accountable for proper waste management. Particularly, IoT can measure water components in industrial tanks and detect violations, while the blockchain can be applied to penalize the violating industry and maintain transparency, integrity, and reliability of violation records. The next event we identified was CHISO's fake cat experiment. So here they exposed cats to factory effluent, giving them the Minamata disease, but they kept it hidden from the public. So this lack of data transparency led to hiding the disease's true extent and delaying vital public health measures. However, today, to battle this lack of data transparency, we can use AI to detect water pollutants, including oil, heavy metals, and biological spills through remote sensing. So this is a technology that can be employed by government agencies to fact-check the actual state of water pollution and also use it to assist in policymaking. The next issue was primarily a social one, which is that due to the lack of information regarding the Minamata disease, victims were afraid to disclose their symptoms because of potential discrimination from the community. So one technological solution would involve using the internet and local TV networks where medical professionals can disseminate more information about the Minamata disease and combat misinformation and reduce the stigma around it. The next one involves, so for the people who did disclose their symptoms, they were able to receive a diagnosis and they did get a compensation of 300,000 yen, but they still weren't able to receive proper and reliable healthcare. So it is more difficult to access healthcare in remote areas like Minamata. So in this stage, our group recommends telemedicine for low maintenance checkups and follow-ups for the patients. And finally, the last problem we identified was that many Minamata disease patients were not recognized and certified as Minamata disease patients. So this can be attributed to many factors like limited resources, poor record keeping, and even political interests. But our focus is on the fact that it's a complex diagnosis to make. So one technological solution would be to create an AI model that can learn from the symptoms of the 2,000 certified Minamata disease patients and use the model to classify potential Minamata disease victims and expedite the certification process. So notice that for each of these problems, they still exist in our current world. In some areas, we still have mismanaged wastewater discharging, faulty government decision-making from the lack of data transparency, discrimination against people with certain diseases, inadequate healthcare in remote areas, and the lack of diagnosis for rare and unique diseases. So while the solutions we provided are pretty high level, the value of identifying the key issues in the whole Minamata disease incident is that it allows us to adapt our solutions to other parts of the world which are experiencing these same issues. So using the history of Minamata as a model, we can take what we have learned from how Minamata was able to recover and even turn itself into a model eco-city and bring it back to our home countries where industrial pollution is still pretty prevalent. So that is all for our presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. So anybody has any question or comment for team 2? Okay, same thing. If you come up with any questions or comment, then please put in the chat box later on, if any. So thank you very much for team 2. So now move on to the team 1 finally. So are you ready? Team 1?
Yep, we are ready. Hello, hi
Okay.
everyone. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We are from Group 1. Representing for this group is me, myself, Erin, Egar from the Indonesia, and also two of another participant comes from Kauru and also Taiga from K University. So I'll try to make it short from whatever that from the previous groups have represent. So today I'm going to present one of our suggestions if the modern technology had been available during that time. Is that one of it is the Pocket HG or Pocket Mercury. This one is more likely like an integrated portable mercury compound detection kit. As we know, we do aware when we come up to the Minamata, we were aware that this kind of technology, it might be hard for it to discover, but we have some theory that we can actually help to cope with the problems. So it's just like the idea of this one is I'm trying to explain as a beginner. For example, as like a traveler or friend coming from the outside of Japan, or maybe the local itself wants to use this kit. It's like this is the story you can see on the slide where Taro also wants to make the travel to Minamata. So he was doubt, we all of us has this kind of like a stigma where when we heard about the word of Minamata, we always can be scared of the mercury, thus causing us to afraid to take any of the, for example, in such terms of foods. So we are trying to be careful to take some food consumption. So we can just try to use this Pocket HG where it will actually give you a first alert about the mercury existence. And also this kit is we expected to be available on the pharmacy, just like what we use for the COVID test. And then when you use it, test it, you can actually track the presence of the mercury inside of the food intake, in your beverages, or inside of any of your meals. And then we are focusing on the 3 parts where after detecting the presence, we are going to report any the mercury readings throughout the phones or throughout the application. And then of course the third one is like we want to record for our own self-keep, so we can actually monitor ourselves how much do we have the mercury intake throughout our meals. So I will give a go to the prototype, passing to one of my group member, Edgar.
Okay, thank you, Arian. And now I'll be exploring about the feature highlights of our application, that is Pocket HE. Can you guys see my screen now? Okay, so I will start about the feature highlights of our application, that is Pocket HE. Pocket HE itself serves with three main functions, that is to detect, to report, and to record about the mercury consumption. The first one is to detect, where a user can easily integrate the the test kit with their application, and they can obtain the test result in no time. They can also report if anything happens to be an abnormal one. So within the same page, the user can send a report submission to the official government, and that the official government will further take into action according to their standards of procedure. And then they can also record their mercury consumption by providing insights based on their locations. And they can also stay updated by receiving news and alerts that is relevant to their locations. For the next one, I will invite my colleagues, that is Taiga. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Paigard, and my part is future recommendation and conclusion. And the first one is that we should create a system of evidence-based action. A major cause of Minamata disease is that the government and corporation covered up the cost of the disease. So if there had been a system of the evidence-based action, it means to better evaluate scientific evidence, the damage might have been smaller. And the second one is that we must not only use technology, we must move. This means that certainly the technology has developed today, but the technology alone cannot solve the problem. So we must act and move our government, or more specifically, we have to move our society. Igor, can you move? Okay, thank you. And in the conclusion, today our technology has advanced, so we should not make the same mistake by running from the past. Okay, that's finished. Thank you.
Thank you very much for team one. So anyone has any question or comment for team one? Yes.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
My name is I'm Dr. Nova from UM, from Malaya. I just want to ask, what is can you explain the sensor setup for the mercury? I saw that you guys developed Android apps, right, for the Pocket TV. But so how are you going to do you have any idea on the sensor of the mercury itself, or just an idea? I'm just curious about it.
Thank you for the questions, Dr. Norima. Basically, this idea come up from the lab itself, from my lab itself, where we can actually use a sensor in the lab right now, where we try the water pollutions. So we just come up that using the same idea, where we want to detect the mercury presence.
All right, noted. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, team one. Thank you. That's all for Minamata Fieldwork participant presentation. Thank you very much. So please have a round of applause for every participant. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, now let's move on to the UM Fieldwork participants. So I'd like to pass the microphone to Emil for the TA. Thank you very much.
Hello, thank you very much, Takaki-san. And I think we can start with the introduction of EBA UM Fieldwork. And let me share my screen first. See here. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, I will pass the microphone to Dr. Norimas. She'll be explaining about the introduction of EBA UM as our organizer of EBA UM. So, yeah, Dr. Norima.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. All right. So thank you again for the opportunity to conduct EBA project in Isti Malaya. All right. So the title of this fieldwork is Impact of Urbanization on Water Quality and Ecological System and Decline of Dragonfly as a direct bioindicator and butterfly as indirect bioindicator. So meaning to say is if the water quality is good, okay, as direct bioindicator, we will see a lot of dragonfly, and also if the ecosystem is good, we will see also a lot of butterfly. So this will be indirect bioindicator. Whereas for the water quality, we have a specific toolkit to measure the water quality. All right, so how does this relate with EBA? Okay, so I will go on to the next slide. Next slide, please. All right, so for this fieldwork, okay, I designed this fieldwork to have two objectives. Okay, fieldwork one, field learning outcome one, okay, is to measure the water quality property such as pH, dissolved oxygen, phosphate, nitrate, okay, turbidity and temperature. And for field learning outcome 2 is to count the number of sighting of dragonfly as a direct bioindicator and butterfly as indirect bioindicator. So when the ecosystem is good, you can see a lot of dragonfly and butterfly. All right, so these two field learning outcome, okay, will give us the same conclusion, which is the water quality. So the water quality from the toolkit and the number of sighting of dragonfly and butterfly in hypothesis should agree with each other. All right, so this is the main idea of this work. The reason for this field work in the beginning is that because we have a few water disruption in Selangor. Okay, meaning to say we don't we will have like people in Selangor, community live in Selangor. Sometime we'll have water disruption due to water pollution in the river. Okay, from the river, so they have to shut down the water supply to clean the water. So this happened because the factory, okay, release the pollutant into the river, which affect the quality of water. Then the government has to shut down the water so that the people don't drink the contaminated water. So this is just like enforcement, okay? So enforcement in Malaysia for the water quality. So they will check the source of the pollution and how to say, take proper measure to tackle the pollution by checking the source of pollution. Okay, next slide, Amirul. All right, so these are the field learning outcome of this work. All right, so we have water quality test, okay, which we have parameters such as pH, oxygen, phosphate, nitrate, temperature. And then we have to count the number of sighting for dragonfly and butterfly. Okay, so if water quality is good, we should see more dragonfly, more butterfly. If the water quality is bad, we should see less dragonfly and less butterfly. All right, so we move on to the next slide. All right, so this is the recent news, which is in this year, 19 April 2023, where we have government taking control for river pollution in Sungai Buloh. All right, so this is very near in Elmina, which is part of the fieldwork area. Right, move on. So the fieldwork area we divided into two. Rural area, which is the Sungai Congkak Recreational Forest and Sungai Chili. And for the urban area, which is the town area, we have River Elmu, Universiti Malaya, and Elmina Central Park. Okay, so the rural area should have a very good quality of water, because this area has how to say, less development compared to the urban areas such as River Elmu and Elmina Park. Okay, next slide, Amirul. Okay, for the water quality, so this is the some photos that we took during the fieldwork, where the participant conducting the water quality test using specific kit provided during the fieldwork. As you can see, we have indicators such as dissolved oxygen, nitrate, and phosphate. All right, and the students have achieved the skill to measure the water quality using the toolkit. All right, and then we also have the student using net to capture the dragonfly and butterfly, which is very troublesome. So you have to run and catch the dragonfly and butterfly, which require a lot of stamina for some of you. All right, so given the current generation, okay, we have usually the current generation always play around with the computer, okay, handphone, and then not really used to the fieldwork itself, like physical activities. So I think this is a good exposure, especially to Sungai Chili, where we have to walk deep into the forest to capture the dragonfly and butterfly, and even have to go through cross the river, okay, for 7 times. So which is quite challenging and physically challenging as well. So I think this will give us a good experience on the data collection itself, where it's not easy to collect data. Okay, some data is easy for us to get, some data is hard for us to get. Sometimes the toolkit itself have some defect. Okay, sometimes the day is raining, during our fieldwork, actually the day is raining, so it's quite tough for us to collect the data. So there are many challenge to take the data itself. It's not easy. So it was a good experience to the participants, I believe. All right, move on to the next slide. So here we have the student.
10 minutes past.
Hello, yes?
10 minutes past.
10 minutes, all right, sorry. I'll be quick. So the student now, in this slide, the student has become serial dragon killer. So how to say, they know how to capture the dragonfly and preserve the butterfly properly. Okay, so pinning the butterfly and even label the butterfly. The dragonfly. Okay, here we do pin of dragonfly. We don't pin the butterfly because some of the dragonfly is under how to say, protection. Okay, environment protection. Okay, move on to the next slide. Okay, so from this fieldwork, the student 1 minute.
Dr. Norima?
Sorry. Okay, so now for the fieldwork, okay, we have open-ended application where based on this imaging issue, the students have to relate with their respective country. All right, move on. I think this is the last slide, right?
Yes.
All right, so I think that's all from us. So I heard, I think I have the formulation of the EBA. Okay, from the fieldwork learning objective 1 and fieldwork learning objective 2, which is the water quality water quality data and number of sighting of dragonfly. There we have data collection. And then the student need to analyze these two data, the fieldwork learning objective 1 and 2, for their analysis to relate with their finding and how these two parameters affecting the water quality. So I think that's conclude our presentation, my presentation today. So the student attain the skill to measure water quality, attain the skill to use bioindicator to measure water quality. So I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Norima. So I think we can start with the first participant from Indonesia, Noverdi Ramadan. Please wait a moment. I will share your presentation slide. Okay, I hope you can see my screen here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, Noverdi, I think you can start now with your presentation.
Okay, hello everyone. I hope you guys are having a great time. It's good to be back to see you guys again via this online meeting. And first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Noverdi Ramadan. Call me Ferdi. I'm from Indonesia, from the University of Brawijaya. And here I will be focusing more on my relation in the fieldwork to my original essay about the water quality in rural urban area of Indonesia. Also, the explanation from Ms. Norima gives a lot of nostalgic feelings and makes us remember again. So in short, in the fieldwork, we did water quality assessment and then also the quality indicator via the bioindicators, and then the conclusion we got from the water quality from the fieldwork are the rural area has more environmentally good, is environmentally better than the urban area because of the abundance of the dragonflies and the butterflies are more than the rural and then from the urban area. And that also implies in the water quality from the chemical measurement. It also shows that the chemical measurement of the water quality in rural area are better than from the urban area. And now we're going to my original essay, which is the water quality in Indonesia. First of all, the issues are in Indonesia, like the disparities in urban and rural area is big. It's also the same in Malaysia. So, and the actions they have taken by the government, like the infrastructure development to make the water quality in the urban area treated better to ensure the standards of the safety. And it is done by the state-owned company, the PDAM. That's the one that's responsible for providing the water supply service in Indonesia. And the cost in Indonesia is also really similar to the one that we found in the fieldwork of Malaysia. So it is both the natural cost and then also the man-made actions which contribute negatively to the water quality, especially in the urban area, which the man-made actions contributes more, such as domestic wastewater and also the cage aquaculture in the rural area. And the locations I personally take in the one rural area and one urban area in Indonesia. And the conclusion from taking the fieldwork and also from my original essay, we found that the fieldwork like proves the importance of clean water quality for ecosystem and communities. Because in Malaysia, we see that the area with worse water quality have less species of butterflies and also dragonflies. And this implies that the good water quality will affect better for the environment, also supporting the themes of my original essay on urban versus rural water quality in Indonesia. And the suggestions is, of course, we need to invest in better wastewater treatment, protect water source, raise public awareness and also enforce regulation, because as we see, as I said before, the good water quality impacts the environment and also the health. And yeah, so it will benefit both urban and rural areas. So yeah, it's been 3 minutes, I believe. So yeah, good to see you guys. Thank you very much once again for the opportunity for the EBA. I am so grateful for the opportunity. Once again, I want to say to all of you guys, I thank you guys very much for the opportunity. I learned so much outside my major field. I learned so much about how to measure the water quality, and I hope this project will improve our understandings about how important the water quality is, not only in Indonesia, in Malaysia, but also around the world. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you very much. See you guys.
Thank you so much, Noverdi. It was really nice to see you again. And do you have any question, anyone?
Okay, thank you, Noverdi. Nice to meet you again. All right. So I just want to ask, is there any serious water pollution from factory? Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, in Indonesia, right, Ms. Norima?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so from factory, right? So in Indonesia, especially in very rural area like Jakarta, for example, there's like one factory in like around like the north of Jakarta. It's like contributing negatively not only to the water quality but also the pollution, the how you call it, the air pollution, but also the water quality. Yeah, so that's the main concern of Indonesia right now. But like that one, but currently in Indonesia, in Jakarta especially, like they are focusing more on the air quality, but also the other water quality has also been the main concern of Indonesia, especially in water. I also remember like the state-owned enterprise, I said, like PDAM, like Regional Drinking Water Company. As I experienced personally, they don't have like this really precise regulation. So some of the time, the water quality came from the company. As you can see that it is visually bad. It is visually bad, like the colors, and from the fieldwork that I did, the color itself, it represents the quality is not that good from the water color itself. So yeah, so that's also one of the concern of Indonesia, basically.
Sorry, already 3 minutes passed.
Yeah, so that's from me, Ms. Norima.
Thank you, Noverdi.
Okay, thank you, Noverdi. So we can start with the second participant, Mr. Ilham, right?
Yes.
Yeah, please wait a moment. Let's see here. Sorry.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
you may start now.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Konnichiwa. I'm Muhammad Ilham Sharifin. I'm from Hasanuddin University, Indonesia. And for this opportunity, I will explain about the water quality in Bantimurung National Park, Maros Regency, Indonesia. Next. Okay, Bantimurung National Park is famous for its butterfly paradise in Sulawesi, especially in Indonesia. But currently, the issue is the limited presence of butterfly in the area. One of the reasons behind this, the deterioration of the water quality within the park. The decline in water quality can have adverse effect on the ecosystem. Some of the factors contributing to decline in water quality in Bantimurung National Park because the visitor who bathe use soap or shampoo in the waterfall fall, and the waste from the sellers cooking is immediately thrown in the river, and throwing rubbish inappropriately, and then dense crowd of the tourists bathing in the waterfall. Next. So, what action we can take to the water quality, first of all, is the good waste management. We can dispose of rubbish in the right place so as not to pollute the river flows. And also, we should do collaboration with the government. And next is the rules with strict supervision and also provision of the proper toilet. That's why many people like doing like using soap in the flow of the waterfall because it's nothing for the proper toilet. And next is the water quality monitoring. Next. Okay, about EBA UM Fieldwork, the correlation between my experience I got at EBA UM Fieldwork in Malaysia, we can find out the quality of water from various aspects. One of which by looking at the population number of the dragonflies and also the butterflies around the area. If the water is clean, we will very easily find to the dragonflies and also the butterflies. Similarly, the decrease in the water quality in the Bantipur National Park has led to decrease in the butterfly population that can be observed there. And next, one of the important factors is for the human factors. Human factors are also crucial in the quality to surrounding the water, improved by like behaviors such as littering and discharge of the chemical into river streams can contaminate or pollute the water. So, as a young generation, water has an important role in our lives, and we must be able to maintain the quality of the water, especially start from our country. As the young generation, we must be able to bring about change for our better future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ilham. That was a really lovely presentation. So, any question?
Okay, regarding, thank you, Ilham. Nice to see you again. All right, regarding the tourist park, is there the tourist park don't have any toilet? Is it how to say? No one taking care of the tourist park?
I'm sorry, I cannot hear your voice clear, Miss Norima.
Okay, my question is that you mentioned about the poor water quality from the tourist park, right?
Yes.
So why this happen? Nobody is monitoring the tourist park?
Actually, that's happened
free
because
access? Yeah.
Okay. Actually, this happened because from the human factor, because so many people or so many tourists are doing like take a bath using soap in the waterfall. That's why it's make pollute or makes the contaminate from the chemical from the soap to make the pollute for the river.
My question is that is there any monitoring for the park? I mean, like, you know, for example, Sungai Chongkak, when we want to enter, we need to pay, right? We also have toilet in Sungai Chongkak as well.
So
how does that compare with the tourist park in your area?
Actually, I think nothing's proper toilet there. Only like how to say it, like for wash if we are Muslim, only like for the mosque, only have mosque and like the place to wash our hand, for wash our feet, like that. Nothing proper toilet there.
All right, noted. So after this, we need to put this how to say, we are going to post this video in the in the YouTube, right, Akashi Sensei? Hopefully.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. Yeah, actually to say we are kind of behind of the time. So if you have any question or feedback or anything, feel free to use chat
box.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, thank you very much for your nice presentation, Ilham.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ilham. So next we'll go with Miss Novia.
Hello, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yep.
Hello everyone, my name is Novia Branti. I'm computer engineering student at Sekolah University, Indonesia. So I like to present you my final assignment about water disaster issue in Tamiang River, Aceh Tamiang, Indonesia. So before I go any further, I'd like to introduce you to Tamiang first. Tamiang is one of district of Aceh, and Tamiang itself is the westernmost province in Indonesia. As you can, next slide. As you can see, there's many floods recently. The worst one is the 2006, where the flood reached the roof of a residential house, and the longest is November 2022, which took 12 days. The cause is natural disaster itself, but it made worse by human behavior, such as clump of rubbish from community, illegal logging, and etc. The question is, does it affect the water quality? Next. I like to say yes. Absolutely yes. As you can see, there's a lot of change before and after flooding. Next. So what is the correlation with this EBA UM Fieldwork? So during EBA Fieldwork, I gained a lot of knowledge. I know how to do water quality checking, like physical monitoring and chemical monitoring. And there's a lot parameters to look for. And it turns out the presence of animals, especially butterflies and dragonflies, itself can be bioindicator for determining which is the water is clean and vice versa. We can see in this slide, I've done a quick check with what I've got at EBA. There's a physical, chemical, and bioindicator checking. So from physical, I like to highlight Sungai Tamiang is under bridge construction, and wastewater from community directly discard into rivers. So this is the biggest reason why rivers are polluted. And there's also no visible in bioindicators, not even vertebrate animal exist. So I can categorize this as a poor water quality. So my conclusion is flood can affect the quality of water in several ways. First one is water contamination. The second one is change the acidity pH level of water. This causes living things to become unable to survive. And the last one, change the physical of water. After flood, water never becomes clear again. I think that's it. And last but not least, let's keep our environmental clean. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Novia. Nice to see you as well. And as for question, I think for those who have question, you can raise your question in the chat below. And I think we can I can move on to the next participant. Thank you again, Novia.
Amira, may I share my slide by myself? Because it's a little bit too long, but I can control my presentation within 3 minutes.
So you want to share your screen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
Just a reminder, we only have 3 minutes only for your presentation. Yeah.
Well, can you see my slides? Sorry.
Yep, we can see your slide.
Okay, sorry. So I'm Li Wei, I'm from Keio University, and today I want to talk about the recent water crisis that happened in Guangzhou district in China. During the devastating flood that struck in July 2023, this catastrophe resulted in a tragic loss of lives, significant agricultural and economic damage. To understand why this flood occurred, let's delve into the factors behind it. So the floods in Chongqing can be attributed to a complex interplay of geographical and climatic factors. Just like the first, Chongqing is at the confluence of the two rivers, which places it at a higher risk of flooding when water level rise. And moreover, its mountainous terrain accelerates water flow during heavy rainfall, can lead into flash floods and landslides. And the abundance of rivers, streams, and tributaries in the region exacerbate the flood vulnerability. And moreover, the Chongqing's subtropical climate, where it's concentrating in intense summer rainfall, can cause widespread flooding. So for in responding to this crisis, several actions were taken. just like the emergency evacuation relief efforts. As for the manual dredging was carried out to clean riverbed, embankments, and drainage channels for ensuring the unobstructed water flow. And the comprehensive assessment of the disaster's impact were conducted by officials visiting affected villages and households. In my fieldwork, I found the water quality report highlighted abnormal levels of hardness, iron, frequency, and bromine in Songhai Chilling. So maybe it's speculated that the heavy rainfall can play a significant role in this. Just like the soil erosion triggered by heavy rainfall can introduce soil particles and dissolve minerals into the water, leading to increased hardness and iron levels. And the groundwater influenced by heavy rain can transport minerals and dissolved substances from underground sources into the water body. And moreover, the natural water bodies may inherently have higher levels of this parameter due to their geographical location. So my finding is that there exists a clear connection between flooding, rainfall, and water quality. During floods, the contaminants from various sources can be washed into rivers and streams, and the urban runoff can introduce pollutants such as heavy metal and organic matter, deteriorating the water quality. Additionally, the flood water can disrupt sewage system and wastewater treatment plants. So it will lead to the discharge of untreated sewage into the water body, which introduces harmful pathogens and further compromises the water quality. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Yibai-san. That's a really nice presentation. And we can move forward with the next slide, the next participant. So the next participant would be Liu Yu. Are you here?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you can start now.
okay. So it's nice to see you guys again. It's lovely to see some familiar face here today. And my name is Liu Yu. You can call me Carol. And I'm the part of the EBA project here at the KU University. So today we are going to talk about the research finding and the recommendation on water quality in Malaysia and Beijing's Chaoyang district. And next, I will break it down to 4 parts: the background and the research method on some key finding, and the comparison of the water quality issues and the policy, and lastly, the recommendation. So next. So at first, let's start with the background. Now, Malaysia has a hot and a humid climate with rainforest, while Beijing Chaoyang district experience seasonal change. So this difference creates the water challenge. Next. And next. And second, we conducted on-site research in Kuala Lumpur and collected data on water quality test and the species diversity. So Beijing's data was obtained through literature surveys. Next. And as you can see, next. As you can see from the slide, through the finding of the butterfly and the dragonfly species and the water quality test in rural and urban areas, it can be seen that, next. Can be seen that the human activities do affect regional water quality, and the more urbanization, the more serious the water quality problem. Please next. So moving on to the third part, Malaysia mainly use river and lake water, while Beijing relies on the underwater source. So Malaysia benefit for a lot of rainfall and water management experience, and Beijing faced a long-term pumping pressures due to underwater use, leading to advanced water quality testing and raise environmental awareness. So next. So how can they learn from each other? That's what I suggest. Malaysia can adopt a high-tech method and a water quality standard from Beijing. And while Beijing can consider the Malaysia water quality strategy and management, working together between cities could really help with water quality problems that cross board. So let's work together to create a brighter future with improved water quality. That's all my speech. Thank you very much for being here.
All right. Thank you so much, Liu Yu. And yeah, I think we can move on to the next participant from Malaysia. I believe Mr. Danish. Wait a moment. I can't move the. Let's see here. How do I move? Right. Yeah. Okay. All right, Mr. Danish, I think you can start now.
Okay. Good day, everyone. It's nice to see you all again. I'm Danish from University of Malaya, and my case study that I will be presenting today will be regarding the Sungai Kim Kim pollution in 2019. This man-made disaster happened in Pasir Gudang, Johor, where the toxic waste from nearby factories were dumped into the river. This led to around 6,000 residents, where about 2,000 of them had to be hospitalized, in addition to over 100 schools had to be closed. The following incident led to a massive cleanup and an investigation by the government, where 3 people were charged for causing the incident. In order to avoid such incidents from happening again, the government imposed stricter laws regarding the environment as well as worker safety. Now, in order to conclude the water quality from this case study, from the fieldwork, I learned that we can determine the water quality from the physical and chemical testing, in addition to the bioindicators. However, in this case study, we will be looking at from 3 aspects. First of which is location, where the location of the river surrounding it, there are a lot of industrial and residential areas. In addition to a lot of chemical factories are also present. Usually from the fieldwork, we concluded that the more developed the area is, the more likely it is to be polluted. And now onto the indicators. From the river, we can see that there are little to no land animals or fish inhabiting the surrounding areas. In addition, from the picture above, we can see that the water looks yellow as well as looking black. Therefore, it looks dirty from a physical side. And then last but not least is the history of the river. And the river that I found out is that there had been histories of chemical waste dumping. This incident didn't happen out of the blue. It had to have caused from past dumpings, which built up over time and led to this disaster. And the lesson learned from this case study is that prevention is better than treatment. Therefore, the suggested measures here is that the government should improve city zoning as well as enforce stricter laws in order to avoid such incidents from happening again. However, they also need to be implementing new policies that put the environment quality as a priority in any case. And that is all from me. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Danish. It was a really concise and very straightforward from your slides. All right, I think we can move on to the next person. That will be, let's see here. Nurul Farahin.
Yes. Can you hear me well?
Yep, we can hear you very well.
All right. So, and I hope Mr. Amir can zoom a little bit on my poster.
Yeah, I don't think I can zoom in with
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. It's so good to see everyone's again. Hello to the EBA staff, to the Minamata teams, and my fellow UM Fieldwork teams. I hope everyone's in a very good condition. So I am Nur Farahins from University Malaya. We'll be presenting about my case study and also what I've learned and gained from the fieldwork. So I will present about the pollutions that happen in Chandang River, Kelang. For the information, Chandang River is located in the middle of heavy industrial area in Selangor. So the issue is that the river receives a significant amount of effluents from the nearby river factory, but still adhere to the regulations. However, on 30 July 2022, to our surprising, the river water turned pink in overnight. So the cause of incident is believed due to the illegal dumping of the chemicals. There are hundreds of intermediate bulk containers that were filled with paint, in waste, and so on were found nearby. So moving on to the actions that have been taken by the government is that the river sample were collected and sent to the Malaysian Chemistry Department for further analysis. And also thanks to these incidents, the new policies introduced, which are the polluter pay principles and also the zero discharge policy. And lastly, the continuous enforcement have been implemented to the surrounding area. After the program, I cross-checked what happened to the Chandang River with the findings from the EBA program. And yes, the conclusion that we agreed on during the program is aligned. First, the quality of the water stream in the urban area is lower compared to rural areas. Second, the physical appearance of the river indicate the bad water quality. And lastly, there are traces of heavy metals found in the river. So from the fieldwork, I'm proud to say that I'm able to identify the water quality simply by observing the physical conditions of the river and also observing the presence of butterfly and dragonfly known as Odonata species. So I would say that it's a valuable knowledge that we didn't need to wait for the water to change its color or for the serious incident to happen like Danish mentioned, Sungai King incidents, to just realize that the river is polluted, but we can simply do the observations to know that the river is polluted. I believe that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Farahin. It was nice to see you again. All right, let's move on to the next candidate. That will be Yang Yaoshan. Are you here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, you can start now.
Okay. So good. Actually, good evening, everyone. So I will introduce a river that located near the Mid Valley Mall. So I think everyone come to Malaysia and go to this mall will find this river, Sungai Kalang. When you across the street, when you across the bridge, you will find this river. The color of this river is black, and maybe you will find some rubbish on the river. Yes, this river condition has been described as between critical and bad. I think the source of the pollution may be from these three commercial institution, informal settler, and terminal floats. And I also found that whether the government do something for this river, so they get the water privatization and the float control and the garbage collector. And I think this river just like a stream that in my hometown when I was young, they have the same situation, but the government do more things about the river. They stressing the sewage treatment supervision of the surrounding commercial, and also strengthen the publicity of the harm of the water pollution and pursue the residents around the river, not reduce the direct discharge of sewage into the river. So when I leave my hometown, actually the river is more cleaner than before. I think Malaysia government also can do these things. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yang Yoshan. I believe the image itself is an old image, but yeah, it was a wonderful presentation. I think we can move on to our final participant. Carlos, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Good luck, Carlos. And okay, this
Hold on.
right. You can start now.
All right. Magandang gabi. Good evening to everyone. I'm Carlos, and together with Iham Ali and Yang Yao Xian, my group mates, and the other participants in this fieldwork, we were able to conclude that indeed urbanization has an often negative effect on water quality. There's no surprise there. So I'll be talking about water resources issues in the Philippines, particularly in Greater Metro Manila or Metropolitan Manila. As more people are moving into urban areas such as Manila, it puts a lot of strain in not just water quality, but also water quantity in Metro Manila. Metro Manila has a very, compared to other metropolitan areas, it's a very small area, and we are heavily reliant on one dam, the Angat Dam or the La Mesa Water Reserve Park. So around 10 million plus people relying on just this small area of water reserve really puts a strain on our available water resource. The Philippines is also one of the most vulnerable countries when it comes to climate change. So that's also another factor in our declining per capita water availability. And then finally, there is a lack of robust government structure available in the Philippines, with many national agencies responsible for water resources and infrastructure management. And often they have competing and overlapping mandates that really makes us unable to plan ahead or plan better in developing the necessary water, not just water infrastructure, but also urban city infrastructure. Because we have this national agencies and local agencies having competing needs and powers. In this fieldwork, we realized the many useful applications of using bioindicators in measuring development. Because as an economic student, as I've always mentioned, as an economic student, I'm mostly reliant on statistics, raw data, numbers, and using bioindicators is something new to me in gauging the effect of development in an area. I've been going around near Manila, and I've been looking for bioindicators such as odorata. This is dragonflies and butterflies. These are dragonflies I've seen. I mean butterflies I've seen in Binangonan, Rizal province, which is just east of Metro Manila. And this one is a dragonfly sighting in SM North EDSA at the heart of Manila. These are causes for concern. They are not particularly diverse, and there is only, these few specimens. So that really tells a lot to me about the status of water quality in these areas. But it also gives me an inspiration. It gives me an idea that if we start to recalibrate our thinking into developing cities that not just only allow people to thrive, but also these bioindicators to thrive, these animals to thrive, then perhaps we could ensure that in the future, our cities will have clean water available for everyone. As Dr. Rossley has said, and I always go back to this, to Dr. Rossley saying, we are used to thinking that we have to protect the forest in order to preserve the biodiversity in an area, when in fact it also goes the other way. We need to protect the biodiversity in order to protect the forest. And well, in this case, we are used to thinking that we should preserve water quality in order to preserve, the people and the animals around it. When in fact, we should also think about preserving the animals in order to protect our water quality. And then that's all from me, from the Philippines, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Carlos. Salamat po. And yeah, I think that's all for all of the participants. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of the participants, EBA UM, for participating in Malaysia. And we hope that this EBA help you to understand what are the emerging issues in whether it is in your country or is in Malaysia and so forth. And we hope that this will be a long-term learning for you guys as well. And thank you very much. And I will pass my mic to Itagaki-san.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you all for your presentation for everyone. So, and then I think the we have some reminder announcement from Geda Sensei.
Thank you, Itagaki-san. Hi, I'm Vika from K University. I'm a PhD student from K, and in charge of open batch-based certification system. And first of all, thank you all for the presentation, both of Minamata team and UM team. And I enjoyed hearing about what you learned in the EBA program. I have an announcement regarding digital badges and PDF certificates. You may have already received an email from Akashi-san about this, but we will issue digital badges and PDF certificates to certify your learning achievement in EBA program using a micro-credential system called Insignia. If you haven't created an account yet, please create your account using the link as you can see the slide. And we plan to issue them by tomorrow. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And you can find my email address on the document Akashi-san sent. So thank you. I think that's all from me.
Thank you very much. Okay, one last announcement from EBA project team is the we will new fieldwork coming up. So EBA Hokkaido fieldwork will be conducted in October. So we are now conducting the online pre-work sessions. So theme is the how should your culture be passed on the next generation. And then after this fieldwork, we will plan the presentation session in this monthly seminar later on, so to be announced. So if anyone interested in, please join that monthly seminar again. So that's all from the EBA team. So thank you very much for the all the participants for the field work. So let's have the last round of applause for the participant for the EBA. So thank you very much for this EBA presentation session. So from now on, we will move on to the faculty meeting part. So all the students participants, so you may leave the Zoom meeting now. So thank you very much.
Before the end, can I take one group photo?
Oh, thank you very much.
Do we have time? Okay, so everyone, please turn on your cameras, EBA participants. By the way, hi everyone, good to see you again. A lot of efforts there. So I'll take. Let me see, everyone, almost everyone. Like students, so don't be shy. I'm sure we can have everyone. Okay, we are almost there. We are almost there. Joe Shimura, Alvin.
Shimura-kun, Aura-san from UPD team.
Aslina, you too. Aura, like Lahamad Sensei. Okay, good. So I'm going to start. Take a look at your camera. Big smile. EBA. Okay, say no. One more. Okay, change your pose. One more. EBA, everyone. Say EBA. Good. Thank you very much. Amazing job.
Thank you very much. Good presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you guys again. So don't forget to practice.
Thank you very much. So from now on, we would like to start faculty meeting. So students, thank you very much once again for joining today's final presentation. That was amazing. So you can leave now and enjoy your evening. Yeah. Thank you very much. So see you soon. Keep in touch. Hope to see you somewhere.
See you in Ham. if you come to UM.
Oh.
Okay, see you guys around.
That's great. Okay, so thank you very much. So you can leave now, everybody else. So please, you want to stay here. I understand how much you want to stay here. However, we would like to move on to the Soyajo meeting. So yes.
Excuse me, Akashi-san, should I pause the transmission to YouTube now?
Yes, so please stop the YouTube. Thank you, Leandro, for reminding me. Nobia, you can leave now on. Taiga, you also leave now on. So thank you very much.